Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Film Club. Today we watched the amazing movie Paris, Texas. It's in the Criterion Collection. It's a beautiful film, very well acted, well executed film. This movie is I think it's a window into the time period of the 70s. Conflicting forces between small town America in Texas and big time American Los Angeles, and it's about that conflicting ideas, I think, at its core.
This was a surprisingly good movie. I've heard a lot about it over the years. Mostly just Paris, Texas. That's actually a city in Texas, not a very exciting one. I saw this movie as kind of a time capsule because he was right. There's a lot of look into the 70s, the cars, the dress. And I love Texas. I love the scenery. I love that it takes place in Texas, no matter how unexciting it is. There's a lot of it in California, too, but whatever. It's California. And there's a good sibling relationship in this movie, kind of comparing just how brothers should work out big family issues, which I think is a cool thing. And I love the main character because he's almost innocent, though you know he's up to something, but he doesn't really talk, and he just always looks really sad, and you kind of want to comfort him, you know. But it's a good movie. I recommend it.
Hey, I'm Anne, and so far I would say that this movie has been definitely a different experience for me. I'm used to fast, actiony films. There's a lot of footage of the background of what I'm assuming that they wanted to display as Texas. It was interesting to see the transition from Texas to Los Angeles in the setting. With the scenes of the character first in Texas, we feel very isolated, out in the middle of nowhere, and then they take him all the way to Los Angeles to reunite with his family, and I thought that was quite interesting.
My name is Jonathan Garrett Rose, and just like Anne, I really enjoyed the movie. Very pleasant surprise, wouldn't you say? A lot of votes. I didn't vote for it only because I didn't know what it was, and I'm so glad that we stuck with our votes. For me, I really liked a movie called Boyhood, which won a bunch of awards was it last year? This year? And it's got to Richard Linklater must have seen this film before he made his film, and I really love that film. But I think I might even, if I finish this, watch like this one more. Like JP was saying, our president, is that I think you summed it up. It's just beautiful. It really is a beautiful movie, and that's what I liked about Boyhood. And this movie really, if there's one thing that drew me in about it, it's when they put the Super 8 on and just watched him with his family, with Natasha Kinski. I'm a big fan of the French actress, who we haven't actually seen yet, minus the Super 8. Now I guess I'm going to become a big Harry Dean Stanton fan. Everyone seems to be a fan. I didn't know much about him. As we were all watching the Super 8, I felt like everybody was very engrossed, captivated. That's how I felt. And I always feel like movies are moving pictures first and all the rest later. For me, when JP said that, it made me think about it. That's why I like films.
I'm Chantel. To me, it relates to American culture of like family matters, how family comes together, and just the whole like real inner conflict between, you know, a mother and father not being around their child, and the child having to deal with getting a connection with his aunt and uncle, and then his aunt and uncle not wanting to break that connection, but his uncle still, you know, knows that that's his brother's son, and it's going to cause problems and conflict. And in the end, I would think that it would, hopefully everybody would come together and still be able to be together, but I don't know if it's going to work out that way. I don't know. But, you know, you would hope for that. You're like, you probably, I hope for the end to be like, he's going to see his mom, and his mom's going to be like, I've always loved you, I'm so sorry. But I don't know if it's going to end that way. But I think that's the whole, like, how many Americans have daddy issues, you know, like a lot. So I think it relates to American families.
Harry Dean Stanton, I want to watch more movies with him in it. He's been in a lot of David Lynch movies. He was in what else was he in? He was in a lot of westerns in the 50s and 40s, but he just played smaller roles. He's a really good character actor, and we're starting to get into kind of more, I think, a more exciting portion of the film now, where they're trying to solve the mystery of where is, the mom. And there's all these questions I have in my brain, like, how is this all gonna work out? Like, this guy obviously has some sort of mental issues, and he's trying to solve this mystery while simultaneously having like amnesia and all of these mental problems. And there's this other side, is like this kid's kind of being put in danger, and that's the sign of a really good movie, is when you're just like, what's gonna happen next? We read a plot synopsis, but actually seeing it is. And also another thing that I noticed about this movie is that the soundtrack is very minimalistic, and yeah, and it's mostly just guitars, and everything is really simple, and they're just trying to put the pieces together. Except I think they're both kind of, well, he's a little bit smarter than the kid, I would assume, but they're both kind of, so many bad things could happen.
I feel like he might have PTSD. I want to know what happens. I keep thinking like this terrible scenario in my head, like he was kidnapped by a serial killer and kept in an attic for 4 years, but I think he probably, his leaving was probably self-motivated from loneliness. I wonder if maybe he put his wife before his son, and so when his wife left him, that's why he took off. And I think that's a really big mistake people do, putting their spouses before their kids, because your kids will go through so much because of it. But his son was lucky to have an uncle, which a lot of kids might not be, to have someone to fall back on to take care of. Yeah, it's a good family ties movie, I think, for sure.
I like the fact that this is a coming of age story, because both characters, Travis and his son Hunter, are very innocent, because Travis obviously amnesia, so he's very innocent at this point, and together on this journey they're obviously experiencing new things, probably some danger, just to find the mom.
As far as I never noticed the minimalistic score, and maybe that's the point, is to not notice it, but it said that Ry Cooder did it. I think he's like a legendary Texas musician. And then Anne was saying the Enlightenment. But to go back to what JP was saying about you're wondering what's going to happen, that's the test of a true movie, I was thinking about what he was saying later, which was like kind of an inference, is that we care about these characters, and if we didn't, it wouldn't be a good movie. So if we didn't care about the characters, then they wouldn't care about where that movie's going and what's going to happen. But because we care about the characters, then, JP's right. We want to know what's going to happen. And I think it was mentioned about there's like a concern about the danger of what's going on with the boy. I was very on high alert when they were like, let's go now. And I was like, wait, hold on. As someone who's been a teacher, I was like, you got to plan for this. You got to tell the mom, you got to tell the teachers. So that was the only part where I was very okay, Harry, that's very irresponsible.
We just got to the point of, he's really reunited with his dad now, because they're going to take off and leave. And yeah, we don't know what kind of mental state the dad is in or what even happened to him. So we're worried about the boy, and we're totally invested, and I think all of us want to finish and see what's going to happen in the end. Yeah. And yeah, as a mom, definitely hits hard for me to see, a little innocent boy kind of just looks like he just wants to find his mom. Is his heart going to get broken, or
Let's talk a little bit about the build-up to the point that we are at now. I know that it's really frustrating because we stopped short of the movie ending. It's so strange that they put so much character development into a lot of the characters that we never really see again. And but I appreciate it definitely. And a lot of the character development is not dialogue based, and you can just kind of know by the situation and how they react to each other. Because we spend the first half of the movie with these two characters. And there's very little distractions too, because the background is just barren, and so we're just here with these two characters, really, building up character development for almost 30 minutes straight. And then we arrive in Los Angeles, where we're introduced to the kid character. The kid is a really good actor, by the way. It's a really good child actor performance. You can tell because he's not so annoying that you want to rip your eyeballs out.
Okay, I keep making a weird comparison with this movie to Taxi Driver.
De Niro.
De Niro, yeah, because his name's Travis, right? But it's kind of from the same. That's the only reason I started thinking about it. But it's kind of from the same time frame, and they also have that really awkward character relationship between the characters. They're totally different relationships. Like, he's obviously not a taxi driver, and his son is obviously not a hooker. But it just the really dry character development, and it's super raw, and it's from the same time, and both the characters are named Travis, I guess. I didn't like Taxi Driver as much as this movie, though.
The depiction of Travis's amnesia and then his initial muteness in the beginning of the film was very good, because the audience is forced to watch how he goes about with his amnesia from the outside. We don't really get the typical flashbacks of memory or the scenes of Eureka when he finds his memory, just him watching, just reacting and talking, and we have to kind of deduce or infer from what he talks about to know what he's thinking about.
Well, the French beauty, I think, what's her name again? Natasha Kinski, I think, is just taking the screen, so we know that they meet, which is good. That's one mystery taken care of. Now the mystery will be, is she going to talk to him out of this booth, I guess? Yes, there is some ambiguity to what is going on. It's interesting because we don't even get an ambiguous narrator. All we get is an ambiguity that's out there, and that, I think, also makes it exciting. I'm super excited that Miss La Femme Nikita has taken the screen. I'm definitely going to finish this movie maybe today now. I don't even know.
But yeah, that's Paris, Texas. Great movie, Criterion Collection, 1978, I guess. Yeah, we'll see you. Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Is there something, I don't know, is there something I can do for you?
Paris, Texas.